So now that we got the transmission apart, I can show you guys what I found. Actually, it was actually worse than I thought because, well, this transmission, when the car worked, of course, it actually shifted pretty good. I did have like a reverse grind sometimes, not all the time, but I did find a few things that is wrong with it. So let me show you guys real quick. So one of the main things that I found was actually my shift fork, which is, I think this is a three to fourth gear one, and especially right here. Let me see if it zooms in, but it's really wore out, which means this fork was doing, when you're shifting, like right here, when you're shifting up, there's a lot of resistance on it, so you're forcing this in, which it ate a lot of the aluminum from the fork itself, which is not a good thing. And then this one here, actually, I think this is the one from, this is the 3 to 4th gear, and this is the 1 to 2nd. But yeah, this one has a little bit of wear. Nothing too serious, honestly. You can probably reuse this, but they're pretty cheap, so I'm gonna replace it. Now, my hub sliders, these are pretty beat, especially this one. It's kind of hard to see. Let me see if I can get it to focus, but yeah, the teeth right there, that's when you hear the grinding noise, that's literally what is happening. Yeah, especially this one. Let me see if I can actually get it to focus really good. Yeah, right here. You can see all of this right here. It just really beat. Besides that, there were just a few little things that were a little beat up. I did notice my synchro. So the Evo X transmission, the way it works, it really doesn't have a reverse gear. So you have your input shaft right here and your intermediate shaft right here. Then you have this little cluster that sits between them. And from my understanding, the way it works is it will use, I think it's first gear and third or something like that. It's a combination of 2 gears to achieve a reverse gear. It's really odd, but Mitsubishi made it like that to remove, I guess, I don't know, rotating mass. Not too sure. But here's the synchro for reverse. And usually the way a synchro works is when it's pressed on against the gear, it works as a brake, pretty much. So how this gear is spinning, it'll, when you're pressed on it, when you're switching to a gear, it will grab this gear and it will slow it down and synchronize it. Hence the name of a synchro. This one, you can clearly see is when you push on it, there should be a gap between the gear, like a really small few millimeters. There's nothing on it, and you can still move it, which means the synchro is fully toast. I did also get a hub slider for it, of course. Besides that, my other finding, it was right here. So this is my 5th gear, and let's see if I can show you guys. But right here in the corner, the teeth are a little bit shoot up, which is really odd because I didn't find that anywhere else. But we can fix all of that. Anyways, the synchros on the rest, they are pretty good. I didn't notice some of the bearings they have a little bit of scoring. Nothing that my fingernail can catch, but I'm gonna replace them regardless because they're pretty cheap, and it's better to do this right the first time. So yeah, so the next step will be to take these clusters apart, especially this one first, and start changing parts. And I'm going to be detailing the gears, not crazy a lot, but I'm going to. So yeah. All right, so I got one of the gears somewhat detailed so far. I did it off camera, but you can see what I'm doing here. I'm just taking off the sharp edges, I guess you can say. Let's say compared to these, see if you can see the difference. So you can see how the stock one has the sharp edge, and then the one I'm working on, I pretty much grinded off the edge on both sides. And then from there, I am gonna use a small rotary tool to get pretty much in between the teeth right here and just try to get rid of that sharp edge right there. I've learned these tricks from people who are way smarter than I am, and according to them, it does help a lot. Mostly because these gears, since they're not straight cut gears, they're trying to pretty much push each other away, and then usually the force and the load will always go towards the end of the tip, which is pretty much the corner right here, and that's usually where you get the teeth pretty much snapping or cracking. So by doing this, you pretty much get rid of that weak point right here. So yeah, I have to do it to all of these so far. So I got this 3 done right here. Of course, like right here, you can't really get inside of there because there's just impossible. But yeah, I also did remove the bearing. Since I'm doing new bearings on pretty much the intermediate shaft and the input shaft, because they were a little bit beat up, especially this one. So yeah, I want to show you guys how I do this. So I have this little mini lathe right here set up, nothing fancy honestly, and pretty much you'll be turning this like this, and all I'm using is just angle grinder or grinder, whatever you want to call it. And while rotating, turn it on, and then pretty much just go to town with it. And yeah, just do both sides. Take your time, of course. You don't want to grind the whole thing and destroy the gear. But yeah, let's just keep going and keep doing all the other gears. Alright guys, so I got all the gears pretty much done now. They're all clean and all detail. As you guys can see, pretty much all of them, first, second, third, fourth, fifth, of course. I have here all the synchros and hub slider that I still gotta replace, but now it's the fun part where I grab everything and put it back together. So yeah, hopefully I remember how to do this. But yeah, I should be good. All I'm going to be using is the Mitsubishi manual on how to pretty much put it together. I'll link it down in the description, so if any of you guys want to learn how to do it, you can just follow that, and it's pretty much straightforward. It's really nothing too crazy. So yeah, now I guess we can start putting it back together, which means I'm going to have to be pressing the new bearings on. Some of these sleeves got to get pressed on, which of course I do use shop press. I think mine is just a 20-ton, but you really don't need a big one like that to do it. Honestly, there's really not a lot of pressure on these things. So yeah, let's get to it and get this transmission back together. most of it together now. I was struggling a little bit, just trying to remember how it went, but we got it now. So you have your final drive or ring gear, front differential, whatever you want to call it right here, your intermediate shaft, your input shaft right here, and the other intermediate shaft for the reverse gear. But yes, it was a little bit weird because there's four shafts right here, and 3 of them are actually driven for your gear selector. And one of them right here is just like almost like an intermediate shaft, I guess you can say. So there was like 2 little ball bearings that went in here. They're kind of a pain to put them in there, but we got them. Yeah, I replaced these cert clips or whatever you want to call them. When I took the old ones out, let me see if I can show you guys real quick. These are the old ones, and you can see, well, this one's not super beat up. Let me see which one it was. Yeah, this one right here, you can see is extremely beat up. I'm guessing from forcing the fork down, having the sinkers all bad, you're pretty much forcing this down. There's one right here and then one up here, so that's my guess. Besides that, I also put the roll pins or whatever you want to call them. They're doubles, which are way stronger. That's like a normal thing you do with DSM and Evo transmissions. You replace these because the regular ones are just a single one, and you always want to put the orientation facing up, of course, because the force, since you're shifting, is moving up and down. If you have it sideways like that, there's a possibility of this pretty much squeezing with the force and then falling off, and yeah, you don't want that. But yeah, now it's just time to put the case on, reseal it, and it should be good to go. So that's pretty much it, guys. I got the transmission all back together. There's still like a few little details, like I got to replace the throttle bearing, and pretty much clean this up a little bit more, but that'll be more when I do the clutch itself. But yeah, everything seems to be fine right now. Here's your shift mechanism. So that'll be first, second, third, fourth, and then fifth, sixth, or reverse, I mean, not sixth gear. So yeah, everything spins pretty good, honestly. Should, with everything brand new inside. So yeah, this is pretty much it for the Evo Trans. Next step will be to get the block ready, and then hopefully we can get the Evo back and running pretty soon. Thanks for watching, guys. See ya.